And we're fucking live, baby. It feels so good to be back. It feels so fucking good to be back. I'm fired up. I wasn't here Monday. Been a little inconsistent on the schedule, but your boy's got some shit to take care of. Last semester of college and I graduate. Then it's balls to the wall. And if I ever miss a fucking episode, I'll send everyone in the chat $20. Hold my ass accountable. Well, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. But anyway, at least I start on time, right? Unlike fucking Tyreek Hill. How are you going to tell all of Dolphins World that your podcast with, the most popular player in our franchise's last 15 years, that you're dropping the episode at 7 p.m. So I'm waiting all day. I'm fired up. I did a UFC show before. Like, I'm ready for this Tyreek Hill Tua podcast to drop. And then you send out a tweet. All right, the podcast is going from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. All right, cool. That's fine. That's going to put me right to sleep. It should end around 9:30. I'm in bed by 9:30, 9:45. Boom, perfect. But Tyreek Hill, this is Eastern Standard Time Zone. This is not Island time. This is not California time. 8 p.m. Eastern Time Zone means you better drop that thing at 8 p.m. When Drake says he's dropping an album at midnight, that bitch is on iTunes by 12:01. You are not Drake. You are a legend. You are the cheetah. You are the fastest man in the league. But man, if you're gonna be in this podcast game and you tell us fans 8 o'clock, that motherfucker better be everywhere by 8:01. You can't have us waiting till 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. You're killing me. Some of us gotta wake up early, go to work, man. You can't be doing us like that. Can't be doing us like that. But I'm excited for his next episode. He's gonna have Jalen Waddle on there. And apparently Tua's looking mean. Tua is looking mean. And I love it. I absolutely love that we finally have guys coming out here and saying, Tua's our guy. Like, I enjoy our team infusing Tua with confidence. It's something he's never had before. You look at his short career here in Miami. I mean, the best confidence boost he ever got was the Dolphins were trying to get Deshaun Watson. And I think that's a pretty shitty confidence boost, if you ask me. He's never had the support of his coaching staff. He's never had the support of the front office. In my opinion, I still don't think that the front office believes in Tua as much as we think they do. Because if they did, I don't think Stephen Ross would have had the sit-down meeting with Deshaun Watson. There's a lot that goes into that. But moral of the story is it finally seems like the locker room, the actual players are rallying behind Tua. Now, that might have been the case last year, but they were never allowed to express it, Last year under Flores, it was kind of like everyone was under like the Darth Vader fucking choke grip of Brian Flores. Even when you look at our guys in the press conference, it's like they're they sound like broken robots almost. They almost didn't know what to say. They didn't know if they were allowed to say certain things. They didn't want to say things where Flores is going to end up texting them on the side like, oh, you're an idiot, why the hell would you say that? You're supposed to support the team, not Tua, blah 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 blah. But now it's like, okay, we got Mike McDaniel, the press is more involved. You see Tua smiling, you see Tua cracking jokes, and then you see these podcasts, right? I mean, you didn't have Tua going on any podcast last year. You didn't have Jalen Waddle tweeting. You didn't have Jalen Waddle coming on podcasts. I mean, it's a completely different vibe, and I love it. And the main thing that is coming with all of this openness is the external pressure, right? So you're hearing, oh, well, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, they're doing a great job of hyping up Tua, but is he going to live up to it? Is it too much pressure for Tua? Is it this? Is it that? Listen, it was already a do or die year for Tua, bro. Like, all this other shit is just for the fans. It's for us. It's for us to get through the offseason. Fucking Tua, I mean, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle saying that Tua's looking mean, Tua's that dude. I don't think that adds any external pressure. Us Dolphin fans, we know. We already knew, whether they were on a podcast or not. This was Tua's make or break year. There's no excuses. The pressure was added once we signed Tyreek Hill. All this other shit, I don't think it adds any more pressure to Tua. I think it makes a little more headline noise, especially when Tyreek Hill is saying, Tua's more accurate than Mahomes. I'm not going to comment on that. I do disagree with that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But just when you start, comparing attributes between Tua and Mahomes, and then you start saying, Tua's looking mean, Tua's looking like that dude, that's going to grab national media attention. But I don't think everything that Tyreek or Jalen or whoever's, I don't think what the players are saying is changing the significance of how well Tua needs to play this year if the Miami Dolphins want to be a good football team. So I think the pressure was already there. I don't think this adds any more pressure to Tua whatsoever. It just fires me up. I think it fires all of us up. We finally have what feels like a winning fucking team, a winning roster, a winning championship team. And I truly believe that if Tua goes out there and he throws for 30 touchdowns, 12 to 15 interceptions, this team could win a fucking playoff game. And this team might fuck around and go to the AFC Championship. That's just my opinion. Anyway, Baker Mayfield got traded to the Carolina Panthers today. If I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, I'd be very happy. I think that's an upgrade over Sam Darnold. I believe they drafted Matt Corral in the draft. I think he's a solid quarterback. I think Matt Corral might be a pretty good NFL prospect. I think he was great at Ole Miss, and then he got hurt. But if I'm a Panthers fan, I'll take Baker Mayfield for a 5th-round pick over Sam Darnold all day. All day. And for the Cleveland Browns to only get a 5th-round pick in return for Baker Mayfield after you drafted the guy first overall, that's an L. That's an L. I know they got Deshaun Watson. I obviously, we all know Deshaun Watson is a clear upgrade over Baker Mayfield. But I thought they'd at least get, a third, maybe a second. I know I'm pushing it, a second or a third for Baker Mayfield, but a 5th-round pick for Baker Mayfield, that is a win for the Carolina Panthers. And I think they upgraded. I think he will be the starter. I think Baker gets a bad rap. It's we like to say, Tua had his broken ribs. Tua had the 32nd ranked offensive line. Now, although the Cleveland Browns obviously had a better defense, had better weapons, better offensive line, better defense. I would take our defense over Cleveland, but Baker was playing on like 2 limbs. I think Baker had 1 working leg and 1 working arm last year. I mean, he was playing hurt, beat up, getting absolutely fucking destroyed, but he gave his entire heart to that city. He never quit. He never complained. He showed up every single Sunday, even if his fucking arm was falling off. He was there. He showed up, and he played to his best ability. And I think a healthy Baker Mayfield would have been a lot better than what we saw last year. But when a team has an opportunity to go from a guy like Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson, you take your chances. Now, there's stories coming out that Watson might not play this year. And if that's true, then you're a fucking idiot and you lost and you look stupid. But when you gamble like that, it is what it is. But if Watson goes out there and he doesn't get suspended or only gets suspended from 4 to 5 games, you hit the fucking lottery, in my opinion. Now, I think Deshaun Watson, if he were to play, he takes the Browns over the top. He takes them to that AFC Championship game. Because I believe in the playoffs, especially in the AFC, where you got guys like Herbert, you got guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson now, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson. I think I'm probably missing a couple other elite quarterbacks. But the thing is, you need an elite quarterback to win those games. Look at Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. I think they got to the AFC Championship or won a couple playoffs because of Derrick Henry, but once they needed to put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hand, he was nowhere to be found. He couldn't compete with Mahomes. He couldn't compete with the other quarterbacks that he went up against. It might have been Mahomes twice. I really don't remember off the top of my head. But the point is, if you want to make a serious run in the playoffs, in the AFC, you need a solid quarterback. So the Browns got what they got, and I think the Panthers upgraded. I think the Browns lost value on their trade because you did take Baker, number one. You only got a 5th-round pick back. But in hindsight, they don't give a fuck. They got Deshaun Watson, and even if he misses 6 to 7, 8 games, they got a quarterback for the next 10 years. Cap for Life says, you got to admit, Smoke, it really doesn't help if the pitbull don't come out of Tua. So, yes, pressure does bust pipes. Time to cash out or get out. I think you hit the nail on your head, Cap. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's going to bring the best out of Tua, though. And I just think that Tua's finally in the right system for that pressure to make a diamond, Well, you could have all the pressure in the world, but when you have an offensive line that's only providing you 1.2 seconds to throw the ball, you're going to fucking suck. And you guys know, I'm not the biggest Tua slobber. I'm like, Tua. I'm not going to sit here and fucking slob the guy and make an excuse for everything that he does. That's just not the right thing to do. I wouldn't be a real Dolphin fan. I would be a fucking stan if I were going to sit here and do that. But when you look at it, you got to also provide context. The absolute worst offensive line of all time. I don't even think it's debatable. That offensive line is fucking horrendous. Jesse Davis could get hit by a bus. I wouldn't shed a tear. No disrespect to him and his family. My heart would break for them. But from a football perspective, could care less if he got hit by a bus. I could give two fucks. The offensive line was abysmal. It was the worst in NFL history. Devontae Parker doesn't play more than 10 games ever. Matt Collins as a wide receiver number 2. No thanks. By far the most disgusting offensive scheme I've ever seen in my entire life. I'd rather watch 4-year-olds play flag football at fucking I9 Sports than ever watch whatever the fuck the Dolphins were running last year. We made offense in the NFL look harder than it ever needs to look. You look at other teams on Sunday moving the ball, you just see guys, pew, 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 pew. I mean, I would watch other teams play. I said, bro, why does football look so easy to them? Why did the Miami Dolphins make football look so fucking hard? Offensively, because on defense, we were some bad motherfuckers on defense. I know we had the bad start. But that team is not winning. We are not winning 7 straight games without our fucking defense. I'll tell you that right now. Because the offense, even when we were playing the fucking Saints, even when we were playing the stupid Jets, even when we were playing all these dumb, shitty teams, our offense was mid at best. I'm just so thankful that we finally have a new system, an offensive-minded coach that could put our guys in the right position. We're finally going to give Tua, well, hopefully. I mean, we haven't seen it yet. You know, like I'm jumping the gun, but I think we have to jump the gun a little bit here. We're finally going to see Tua with a coherent offensive system. There's going to be no more RPO 0.1, get the ball out, and it's fucking incomplete slant over the middle. Now we're looking at 2nd and 10, run the ball, get 1 yard. Now it's 39 on our own 25, and we punt the ball away. Yeah, that's not how you fucking win football games. So we're finally going to have the right system, and we're also going to finally have the right pieces. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson. Do not forget about Preston Williams. I know we got hurt. I know the unicorn's hurt. That's probably why we call him the unicorn, because you only see him once a blue moon. But when he's playing, bro, that fucking Preston can make plays, bro. He is a solid wide receiver 4 on our football team. I think that's an elite receiving core. We got Mike Gesicki, and we upgraded the offensive line. Now, my biggest fear about the offensive line is when someone gets hurt. And I don't want to sit here and be the bearer of bad news or be like, or Mr. Negative Dolphin fan. I'm keeping it a buck with all of you guys. And let me know if you agree or disagree. Someone on that offensive line is going to get hurt. I would be an idiot if I sat up here and said Terron Armstead is not going to miss a game. His entire career, he's never started all 17 games. Not one time. So why would his 1 year in Miami be any different? It's not. He's going to get hurt. Him or someone else is going to end up getting hurt. And that's when my heart starts fucking coming out of my chest. Because who's next? We don't have any depth. And I'm absolutely petrified to see what's going to happen when the inevitable does happen. Cap for life. What's up, brother? Glad to have you on.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Yeah, I just, for me to have to give the statistical value of this stat from a New England Patriots fan really irks me, man. But for you to mention top 10 offense and for us not to have an irrelevant top 10 offense in almost 30 years, which is, let's get real technical, 27 years, if you really want to say. And it's just frustrating, man, because I just hear this morning everybody on Miami Sports Music talking about, how we're making moves, we're saving capital, we got draft picks. And it's just like, guys, like you sound like the same pretty much argument that we have every year about how we draft picks and we still don't get jack shit in return.
Right.
So something has to give, man. I don't know what the answer is, but I just don't want people to get, fall for the banana in the tailpipe, and then that's when all hell's gonna break loose. Like, yeah, pressure, pressure's one thing, and pressure does bust pipes, but it doesn't help when you're going on different platforms, hyping somebody up, and then all of a sudden, the bubble bursts. I'm not trying to have the glass half empty. I'm the guy that has the glass half full, because we should all think like that. Right. But damn, man, I mean, you living down here, like, it's just like, I feel like I'm stuck on stupid sometimes having to deal with all this crap because we get force fed a whole bunch of and it just doesn't work out.
No,
so yeah, man, I want that offense to be potent, man. It needs to be potent.
I agree. No, I hear you. And I mean, bro, look, we've been Dolphin fans our whole life. We haven't won a playoff game in 20 years, and every single year we're up here thinking we're going to make the playoffs, myself included. But I wanted to ask you, you were talking about how, the players are talking and it's probably not good, that we have all this outside noise. But do you really think that's going to move the meter on whether it was make or break for Tua this year? I feel like regardless, like say Tyreek Hill never had a podcast and none of these players came out and said anything, I still think the pressure internally, like from the Dolphins organization and us fans, is the same on Tua. Do you agree?
Oh, I mean, that's without a doubt, man. This is year 3, and everybody knows. I mean, if everybody says that we're casuals and we're not football gurus, it doesn't take a guru or a casual fan to know once you hit 3 years, you're pretty much considered. And I hate this term because everybody uses it loosely, but everybody considers 3 or 4 years a vet, which I don't agree with. But damn, if you've been in the league for 3 years and you're not having it done or getting to expectation levels, and we got a problem. I don't want to go past 3 thinking that we have something when we don't. So this is the year. Do you think this is not the year?
Oh, if this has to be the year. I've been on record. If Tua sucks this year, he's got to go. You look at our fucking roster. I mean, we are built head to toe. The only other question mark that this team has outside of Tua is our offensive line, and of course, Mike McDaniel. Like McDaniel could be a terrible coach. I don't think he will, but I mean, if we're going to sit here and predict that he might be the next greatest coach, we also have to have that negative thought in the back of our mind that he might suck. But I think this all relies on Tua. I think 70 to 80% of our success is going to fall on Tua this year because I think he's our biggest question mark, even with the offensive line and even with Mike McDaniel. We shouldn't have to sit here and debate, is Tua going to be our guy? You look at Justin Herbert. No one's debating if he's the guy in LA. No one's debating if Joe Burrow is the guy in Cincinnati. And I know everyone has different situations for teams that they got drafted to. But when you get drafted in the same draft class as these guys and you get selected before Herbert and you're still a question mark going into year 3, hell yeah, it's make or break.
Yeah, man. Like we're both on the same page as far as that goes, but it's just it dumbfounds me when, it just, I understand the commitment level to the quarterback. We should all have his back, and we do have his back. But it's also not wrong to think, man, we need a contingency plan. And when you start mentioning names, people get anal, man. It's just like, well, I mean, what the hell do you want us to do? Like, get caught with our pants down when the season ends and we have no contingency plan? Like, we talk about Lamar, we talk about other draft picks. I mean, I would wait till midpoint of the season like we all do, but it's not going to happen. It just doesn't hurt to have that type of mindset that, damn, we're all talking about make or break, but if it breaks, what the hell do we do? Like, I think it's also okay to say that we need a backup plan just in case the hype is not there.
Right. And I think that backup plan is already in store. We have 2 first-round draft picks next year. And I think we're going to know exactly what team we have after the first 4 weeks. We got New England, Baltimore, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. We're going to know exactly what team we have. We are going to know exactly if Tua is that guy or not. I think we're going to have the answer to our problems relatively soon. And then I know after that, we have like 5 to 6 very winnable games, but nothing's a guarantee in the NFL. And I know we ripped off 7 wins last year, but the odds for us to do that back-to-back years is not very likely. So it is essential for this team to start 2-2. But if they start 0-4, God forbid, or 1-3, and Tua just looks fucking horrendous, then we take the L on the season. I think we take the L on the season.
Then
man,
we
have our first-round draft pick.
I'll play Skyler. I don't care at this point.
I mean, well, yeah, if we start 1-3, 1-4, or 0-4, whatever, it's going to be Teddy. They're going to play Teddy unless Skyler goes out there and absolutely fucking kills it in training camp. But I think Tua would be benched if it's clearly Tua's fault. Now, if our offense is going out there and we're scoring 30, 40 points and Tua looks phenomenal and our defense is just getting cooked, that's a different story. I think that's a completely different story. I think there is an alternate universe where Tua could be that guy and look amazing, and then our defense takes a huge jump off a cliff. I don't think it's likely. I think it's a possibility. And if that's the case, then what would we do as Dolphin fans?
That's what I'm saying. Like it'll be all hell will break loose because that's going to make things even worse. Oh, the defense sucks, and then you're going to people say, no, the defense doesn't suck. We're going to get back to square one. The divide's going to get 10 times full. So it's just like, as much as I get on Chris Grier, I like the fact that he went after Skyler just to have that in-house project because man, now it's slim pickings to be honest with you. Let's be real. Like, let's real talk right now. Like, it's very, very slim pickings unless we're willing to give up that capital that everybody loves so much.
Man,
so it's like,
fuck those draft picks, bro. The best thing that we've ever had. I mean, we killed it in 2021 with Jalen Phillips and Javon Holland. That draft class was great, and obviously Jalen Waddle. But the year before, we whiffed on every pick, and we've sucked in the draft for the last 20 years, except 2021. That was the only good draft class that I could remember in my lifetime as a Miami Dolphin fan. I can't remember one other draft class. Fuck those picks. We got rid of those picks. What did we get back? Tyreek Hill. I want established players, and I believe that the Dolphins are the number one destination for any quarterback that wants out of their team. Any quarterback that wants out of their current situation is going to want to come to Miami with Jalen Waddle on a rookie deal, with Tyreek Hill locked in for the next 3 years, with Cedric Wilson, Mike Gesicki, you got Raheem Mostert, Sony Michel, Chase Edmonds. And if McDaniels is a great head coach, this has to be the number one spot for any free agency quarterback. So if it doesn't work this year, I have the utmost confidence that the Miami Dolphins are going to be an AFC favorite in 2023. Is Cap there? Did I lose Cap?
No, you're coming in and out, but I got you now.
My bad. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. It's just it's weird because you're not blacking out or anything like that. It's getting muted for some reason. But I get what you're saying though, man. Like it's just it's a situation right now where we're hoping and praying right now that these picks, that we have built up, do get used for some type of value because like I said, man, I'm at the point right now where if things don't work out our way, I don't give a damn. I'll microwave it and I'll keep saying it till the end. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing wrong with doing that if things don't work out the way they're supposed to.
Right. And I think the Patriots winning that many Super Bowls that they did, they've kind of fucked everyone's mindset. Everyone's just like, oh, I want to be the next dynasty that wins 5 to 6 Super Bowls in 10 years. Realistically, like that doesn't really happen for a lot of football teams. You look at the Rams, they mic'd the fuck out of it. They got a Super Bowl ring, a Super Bowl trophy. I would do anything for a parade in South Beach with the Miami Dolphins as a Super Bowl champion, even if it's 1 year. Give me one Super Bowl win. Look at Philadelphia Eagles fans. You think that they regret winning a Super Bowl fucking 3-4 years ago? Absolutely not, bro. I'll make anything. I want a Super Bowl in Miami. I want to see a playoff win, and I'll do it at all costs. I mean, look, bro, I ride and die for this logo right here. And Waddle, he's right. My dream scenario is that Tua does good. That Tua goes out there and absolutely balls this year, kills it, throws 30 touchdowns. And then we could use that draft capital to either upgrade the offensive line, trade for an established offensive lineman, or maybe go out there and draft the next fucking stud. I would love for Tua to go out there and be that guy. That is the dream scenario for all of us Dolphins fans, because then we could build whatever the hell we want, man. But I'm with you, bro. I'll make anything if it means a Super Bowl for the Miami Dolphins.
Man, I want him to prove us wrong, bro. I really do. If anybody wants to eat crow, it's me when it comes to this. But man, we got to call a spade right now, man. It's just we got to make sure that all this hype is built up for something and not for nothing, because it's just I would hate to see that happen to that kid, man. I really do. And I keep calling him a kid. I know he's a 20-something plus year old guy, but the guy looks like my son when I look like him at him, and it's just like I don't want that for him. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. And you're right. And like it's professional sports. You got to call a spade a spade. We obviously want the best for him, but if we're going to sit up here exactly and just be completely bliss and not be objective to what we've seen, we'd be lying to ourselves. Like what
we'd be doing him a disservice too.
Great. Yeah, and I'm sure he holds himself to that standard. Like I don't see Tua going back to his house and he's like, oh man, I really had a great year this year. I had 16 touchdowns and 10 receptions. Fuck no. He's like, no, I sucked. Like this season was a fucking L. We looked terrible. I hated Flores, and honestly, like obviously we can't blame everything on Flores, although he was obviously a problem. But I believe Tua holds himself to a certain standard as well. And if he's keeping it real with himself, he knows what he's done so far has not been worthy of the 5th overall pick. Like, let's just call it how it is.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, I just wanted to check in on you, man, and just show my love, man, and make sure that, you're inspiring that growth, man, and you keep doing what you're doing, brother, man. Hopefully you check us out too on our mainstream wackiness that we got going on, man. But man, just keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Shoot me a DM, bro. I appreciate that, man. Hit
You
me in the
got it, brother,
DM on
man.
Twitter. Do you have me on Twitter?
No, I don't really do Twitter and stuff like that, bro. I just I try to keep it cordial and simple, you know what I'm saying? But everybody that I do know does know you, and we'll make it happen.
All right, yeah. Have them send me the link. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me, or just comment the link on like one of my old videos so I see it or something.
You got it, man.
All right, I appreciate you, Cap. Thanks for coming on. What a guy. What a guy. Waddle. You were my dog. I swear if Watson doesn't get suspended and he wins the Super Bowl, I'll actually cry. It's hilarious that you just said that. Because before I went on this show, I'm reading this article from Florio, and he's like, yo, Deshaun Watson, he might not get suspended. If Deshaun Watson doesn't get suspended one single game and the Browns go out there and win any playoff game, I will decapitate myself. Could you imagine? It would be the most Miami Dolphins thing of all time. The Miami Dolphins, mid-season, by the way, 1-7. Yeah, we're all in on Deshaun Watson. Our owner's going to have a meet down. We're going to have a sit down with them. Oh, the Miami Dolphins are Deshaun Watson's preferred destination. Oh, Dolphins, Deshaun. Oh, my God, are they really going to trade everything for a sexual predator? And if this man doesn't get suspended and the Dolphins backed off and said, nah, we're good. And he doesn't get suspended and the Browns oh, my God, Matt on. Bro, my blood pressure is way too high thinking about that. That would be the most Miami Dolphin thing in the entire world. If Deshaun Watson does not get suspended, this team is fucking cursed. This team is cursed. I want him to get suspended for at least 9 to 10 games so I could look back and be like, okay, the Dolphins did the right thing. We didn't just waste another season. We didn't throw away another season. If this man gets suspended for 0 games, like, are you fucking kidding me? Why? Why would we take all that heat for Deshaun Watson for 8 months? Why would we do that to ourselves? Why would we sit here and tamper with Deshaun Watson for 8 to 9 weeks and not make the fucking trade for him, but take all the heat all year that we're going to trade for a sexual predator? Waddle, I hope he gets suspended. Because if he doesn't, shout out Bones, man. Shout out Bones. Thanks for coming in. King Mill, I will jump off the first floor window if the Browns win a ship and if he doesn't get suspended. Bro, let me know. Send the address. We could hold hands. We'll jump off together. Me and you, we'll hold hands. We'll take a selfie together. I'll jump with you, bro. If this man doesn't get suspended and the Dolphins just sat there for 8 weeks looking like fucking fanooks and he goes out there and wins playoff games, I will take fucking shots of bleach. I will take shots of fucking bleach. Waddle, you want to come? All 3 of us? Why don't we all just go to Hard Rock Stadium? If Deshaun Watson doesn't get suspended, we'll go in there week 1. We'll see the Dolphins beat the Patriots. We'll climb up to the roof. Shout out Deshaun Watson. Shout out Chris Greer. Shout out Stephen Ross. Fucking leap. Not on. Waddle says, I think what should happen is that Watson should only be suspended for every game he plays against the Dolphins. I'm cool with that. I don't think it's going to happen, obviously. You know that's not going to happen, but I'm cool with that. What else we got here? He should get suspended and send half of his money to Tua. Hey, man, $230 million. You can send money to whoever you want, bro. Whoever you want. But if you're Deshaun Watson, you just can't send it to any more masseuse. Just can't send it to any more masseuse, bro. No more masseuse for you. Look, man, I know I sound like a broken record, but Waddle, you triggered me. If this man does not get suspended, the Miami Dolphins are the most cursed organization in the entire fucking world. Minkah Fitzpatrick on a podcast. I love these players coming out with podcasts. They're just giving us inside information. And look, all of us Dolphin fans, if we opened up a book to Minkah Fitzpatrick, if we opened up the dictionary to Minkah Fitzpatrick, we would see the word bitch. We would classify him as a bitch, adjective, bitch, Minkah Fitzpatrick. That's how we would define Minkah Fitzpatrick. Well, he came out there, and I think I'm going to change my definition on Minkah Fitzpatrick. The reason why he left the Miami Dolphins in 2019 is because he didn't like our approach to that season. Now, mind you, that 2019 season was the same season that Stephen Ross, our owner, was offering Brian Flores $100,000 for every loss that season. So if I'm Minkah Patrick, what did we draft him? Top 5, top 6, top 10 or something? I don't remember off the top of my head. But high caliber first round draft pick. He was obviously the best player, one of the best players on our defense. I should never disrespect Xavier Howard like that again. But one of the best or second best player on our defense. And he wasn't on board with the tanking for Tua. Now, whether it was tanking for Herbert or tanking for fucking Joe Burrow, it didn't matter. He didn't want to play for a team where the owner was paying $100,000 to their head coach for every loss. And I think that's fair for Minkah Fitzpatrick. I wouldn't want to play if I believed I was a star player. If I wanted to, I just got into the NFL. I want to work on my craft. I want to be the best version of myself I could possibly be. I want to play for a team and help them win. But when you go to that team and the owner is trying to pay the coaching staff $100,000 to lose every single game, and you know that they're absolutely tanking their ass off, I don't blame you. And then when they're moving you all over the field and you have no idea what your responsibility is because they're signing players off fucking Publix checkout line on Tuesday to start in a game on Sunday, I would be pissed off too. So my hatred for Minkah has rolled back a little bit. I understand why he was upset and I understand why he left. But I still don't really fuck with him like that, I still don't really fuck with him because he left us. He did us dirty. But from an individual perspective, I see where Minkah's coming from. Casual Dolphin fan says they allegedly offered $100K. Man, if you don't think Stephen Ross wasn't offering him $100,000, you were smoking crack flocka. Now, I know what you're doing. You're being a good fan, okay? You're deny till you die. You take it to your grave. Stephen Ross ain't afraid about breaking no rules, brother. He don't care. He was on the yacht. Brady was at the fucking dock. He just picked the worst head coach possible. Like, this is like running like a scam or a pyramid scheme, and you select the leader that has compassion and morals and like a conscience and doesn't want to ruin people's lives. You can't pick someone with morals and ethics to run a scam. And that's what Stephen Ross did. He wanted Tom Brady on the yacht. Brian Flores, nah, I'm straight. Here's $100,000 for every loss. You don't have to do anything. Just lose, and I'll pay you $100K each game. Nah, I'm good. I'm going to take the worst roster in NFL history and win 5 games. Stephen Ross, you best believe that he had that money ready to go. Ready to go. Waddle, stop triggering me, man. I wish Flo took that $100,000 too so we could have Burrow. I'm confusing Herbert and Burrow because both of them are him, bro. Both of those guys are himmy. They're both himmy, and we got to sit here and pray that Tua is Drew Brees. No disrespect to Tua, bro. I don't think Tua's as bad as everyone makes him to be, but he's obviously not Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. But that doesn't mean he can't be our guy. I really do think Tua's going to have a great year this year, and if he doesn't, fuck him on to the next one. I ain't getting caught up in no love triangle or I pledge allegiance to Tua for the United quarterback of the Dolphins. I'm not with that. I'm not going to sit here and pledge my allegiance to him. But as long as he's the starting quarterback for the Dolphins, he's got my support. O-line was 32nd in the league. No cap, 100%. That's why this year is so important for Tua. This is the best offensive line since he came into the league. You watched our offensive line last year. You literally had 1.9 seconds to throw. I don't care if you had Tom Brady, Ron Jeremy, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. I don't care who your quarterback is. 1.9 seconds, you are going to suck ass as a quarterback in the NFL. Receivers were 32nd in dropping balls. Again, Isaiah Ford, complete scrub. Mac Hollins was a great leader, great guy in the locker room. Is he a wide receiver too? Absolutely the fuck not. I agree. I thought the receiving core last year was heavily reliant on Jalen Waddle, and when teams zoned in on Waddle and took him out of the game, our offense fucking blew. And why don't we talk about our running backs last year? No disrespect to Duke Johnson. He put on a great stretch for us. I love the guy, but when he's your running back one, you have fucking problems. It is what it is. It is what it is. Cap for Life says maybe Herbert and Burrow's kids might one day give us an offspring that turns into a super saiyan that takes us to the Super Bowl. Bro, at this point, I don't care whose offspring takes us to the Super Bowl. We need someone. We need fucking someone, man. Chef Jew's got a question at Nikki Smokes. If Tua has a breakout season and proves he's our franchise quarterback, would it stop dividing the fan base once we win a playoff game with him? 100% absolutely, Jew. Thank you for asking this question. Because people are so brainwashed that they truly believe that this fan base is divided for anything else outside of Tua. It is. It is, plain and simple. If we had Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, you think their fan base is going to be divided? The quarterback is the most important and most polarizing position on your football team. And when half your fan base still believes in him and the other half wants nothing to do with him, that is the dividing force amongst your fan base. You think Kansas City Chiefs fans are going to war at each other like the Miami Dolphins are? Fuck no. They might have a disagreement on, maybe paying someone too much money or trading Tyreek Hill, but they're not fucking divided. I mean, you look at our fan base, they are completely split in half. You either fuck with this group or you fuck with that group. If Tua breaks out this season and the Miami Dolphins win a fucking playoff game with him, best believe all of the Dolphin fans are going to come back and hug each other because at the end of the day, we love this right here, or at least I hope you love this more than anything. And the best thing for this right here, the Miami Dolphins, is for Tua to go out there and fucking ball. So Chef Jew, 100%, if Tua goes out there and balls, the Miami Dolphins fan base will finally be one big family. Great fucking question. Oh, I hope it happens. I fucking hope it happens. Let's see what else we got here. Why don't people talk about the first-year coach? I think that's a big thing too. And I talked about that earlier on the show. I said, look, I think our biggest question mark is Tua, then our offensive line, and then our head coach. In that order, because your quarterback's the most important position on the roster. Brian Flores won back-to-back winning seasons. We haven't had that in 20 years. We went out there to get a new head coach because his relationship with Tua sucked. So we picked Tua over Brian Flores. I think McDaniels is a question, no doubt. I think he's still a question. I hope he's great. I think he's going to be great. But it's still a question. I hear you. But I don't think that's our biggest question. Because what if McDaniels doesn't work out? Then it's another excuse we have to add to Tua. And it's already been 3 years. So what are we going to do? The Ryan Tannehill get to year 8, go through fucking how many head coaches we've had over the last 20 years, and then all of a sudden be like, oh shit, maybe it's the fucking quarterback. I don't think you could keep doing that. And to be honest with you, if Tua sucks and the Dolphins suck, I think Tua and McDaniel get fired. That's a hot take right there. Casual Dolphin says, what has Herbert won? Rookie of the year with the worst offensive line in the NFL, his rookie year. You look at Justin Herbert play football, it's night and day. People have him as a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. If you put him on the Miami Dolphins, he'd probably have a playoff win, in my opinion. I think the Chargers win the Super Bowl this year. I'm just going to put that out there. Let's see. Waddle says, we need Arizona Tua every game this upcoming season. Not every game, but the majority. My standard for Tua needs to play all 17 games. If he plays all 17, the Dolphins have to, and I believe that they will make the playoffs. Now, winning a playoff game, completely different story. I think it's going to be matchup. If we have to go into Buffalo week 1 as a wild card and have to play the Bills up there, I'm shitting myself. I am fucking shitting myself. I'm just keeping it real. I would shit myself if we had to go into Buffalo for our first playoff game. But I think there's teams in the AFC that the Miami Dolphins can beat. So we'll see how that goes. But if Tua plays all 17, I 100% think that we're going to make the playoffs. So 100 Auntie says, what kind of Dolphins fan are you, Nick? I'm a diehard Dolphin fan. I'm a realist. I'm not going to sit here and, just blow smoke up my ass or just ignore other teams making the right moves. You signed J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack. You have Derwin James, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, an upgraded offensive line, a great young-minded head coach who sometimes does a little too much for his team. The Chargers are a good football team, bro. They're a good fucking football team, and there's no way around that. They upgraded their defense. I forgot to name Joey Bosa. I mean, that's a good fucking football team, man. Come on, man. Let's see. Chargers win the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, that's my prediction. I said the Rams are going to win last year, and they did. I'm running hot. I'm doubling down on my hot streak. It is what it is. Just because I think the Chargers might win the Super Bowl doesn't mean that I fucking hate the Dolphins. I fucking love this team. That doesn't change anything. I'm keeping it a buck. You minus go and cheer for the Bills. I think you meant might as well go and cheer for the Bills. I'd rather shoot myself in the face than ever root for the Bills. I mean, look, if you can't keep it a buck with me, I really don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. The Chargers are not third in their division. They are either with Kansas City or right behind them. That's it. If you're gonna put Denver over the Chargers, I'm sorry, bro. You gotta go back and watch tape and rewatch football. It is. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. Just keeping it a buck with you. I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, I hope the Dolphins go out there. I hope we win playoff games, and I hope Tua goes out there and wins fucking MVP, Most Improved Player of the Year, because he should. He should. With the facts, with the team that we have right now, there's no more excuses. And I don't think us Dolphin fans can sit here and shit on any other fucking AFC team. We haven't won a playoff game in 20 fucking years. We haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. Like, what are we talking about? Come on, man. Hello, Nick. You were like 3/4 of the Miami fans. I don't understand what that means. 3/4 of what Miami fans? What does that mean? What do you mean by that? I want nothing but the best for this team. Every single year I sit here, I get hype. I drink the fucking Kool-Aid for this team. And what? We don't win a playoff game? We make the playoffs in 2016, get blown out by Pittsburgh? We go to the Ravens, play them in the playoffs, and get fucking blown out? Dude, I want to go to the playoffs and win a fucking playoff game. I want to go win a playoff game. I'm tired of this fucking bullshit ass standard. Fuck that shit. I want to win, bro. 3/4 of the Miami fans. We're all miserable. Like, we're all fired up. I'm optimistic. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. But that doesn't change the fact that every single year we do the same shit every fucking year. And what happens? We end up right here. The Chargers haven't won anything in decades. What do you mean, bro? They played in AFC championship games. Winning anything. We haven't won a playoff game in 20 years. We haven't won anything in decades. They've won playoff games. Come on, man. I agree, Waddle. If you think the Chargers are last, then get off the fucking weed, lean, and everything, bro. 100,000%. 100,000 fucking percent, dog. You're fucking tripping. All right. Let's see. Dude, I had something else I wanted to say. There was something else I wanted to fucking say. You guys got anything else in the chat for me before I go off? I kind of like the back and forth. It's all love. I mean, I don't hate 100 Auntie, but don't ever sit here and act like I'm not some fucking diehard football fan. Dolphin fan. You got me fucked up. Well, there's a new era of football season this year, Nick. I agree. Hopefully, but we say the same shit every year. We won 10 games 2 years ago at Brian Flores. I thought we were going to win the AFC East. I thought we were going to win the AFC East. I thought we were going to win a playoff game. We started 1-7. You said, I think we're going to win. I think we're going to see W's this year. So do I. I think we're going to see W's too. I'm not denying that. We should win games. Look at this fucking roster. Come on now. All right, last thing. I already talked about it a little bit earlier. Oh my God. This guy has to be trolling me. I think you're a Chargers fan. Fuck out of here. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. All right. I'm not even going to fucking address that. Man, I don't know anymore, but talk about Baker or something. Well, I think the Carolina Panthers got a starting quarterback. I think they got a starting quarterback. I think the Browns lost, but mind you, they have Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson doesn't get suspended, they don't give a fuck. They don't care that they only got a 5th-round pick back for Baker Mayfield. But anytime that you draft a guy first overall and you only get a 5th-round pick, you lost. You fucked up your draft pick and you didn't get much return on your investment. I might as well get the chat triggered real quick. If Baker's only worth a 5th-round pick, what would Tua be worth? Let me know. If Baker's only worth a 5th, what would Tua be worth? What do you guys think? I'd say 3, 4. Anyone want to tell me what round pick? A 0-round pick. Tua's worth a 7, a 5th. I think that's fair. I think from what we've seen so far, I think we would get a 4th or 5th-round pick for Tua right now. I think that would be the market for Tua right now. Right now. I'm just keeping it a buck. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think 4th, 5th. 7th, I think 7th's a little disrespectful. King Mill, I appreciate you always showing love, but 7th is wild. If we only got a 7th for Tua, that boy would be fucking ass. I don't think he's worth a 7. I think he's worth maybe 3 through 5. 3 through 5. I can get with that. I can get with that. That's really all I got for today. I mean, this chat was absolutely going off today. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Even the people trying to go back and forth, I appreciate that. I love that shit. I think the Dolphins are going to win 11 games this year. I think we might win a fucking playoff game. I'm so fired up for this year. I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for watching. Come back for Fired Up Friday, 5 p.m. Bring the smoke. I'll be here. Don't run away. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Fins up.